My name is David Simon, and I'm the Vice President of Ad Solutions for Local Corporation. Local is a local media and marketing solutions company based in Irvine, California. About a little less than a year ago, Local acquired a company called Rovion, which is a rich media company based in Boston, Massachusetts, and that's where I hail from. That's where some of the team that you're going to meet here tonight is from. And I'm going to talk a little bit about rich media. I'm going to talk about rich media technology and how quickly it's moving and how it's changing the industry. I'm going to start by talking a little bit about how technology changes advertising, because I think that it's sort of a relevant story and it helps you to understand a little bit better what is happening in our space right now. So technology does change everything. If you think about the way that we go from one technology to another, if you think about the way that we go from a place where you need a lot of service between you and your end result. I mean, I always think of the Andy Griffith Show, because that's how old I am. I remember the reruns, with someone calling in to ask someone to connect a call for you. Dial phones came later, right? That's the movement of technology from one place where you have someone whose whole job is to connect the phone call to a place where you do it yourself. The idea that this happens in virtually every technical field is not my own, of course, right? Anyone who's read Crossing the Chasm, Jeffrey Moore, knows it happens in virtually every industry that touches technology. Anyone who's read Clayton Christensen's The Innovator's Dilemma understands how it impacts different industries. I'd like to sort of let you guys know, lucky you, it's happening again. It's happening right now, and it's happening in rich media. The interesting thing about rich media is it is absolutely in the place, still sort of in the place of the beginning of a technology, even though it's been around now for better than 10 years. And that's a little bit of an anomaly, and that's why we're in this sort of very advantageous place right now. If you don't know a lot about rich media, or you don't know what I'm referring to, it's a phrase that encapsulates a lot of technology. It's everything from an animated ad to an ad that incorporates video, an ad that may break out of the traditional ad space, an ad that doesn't appear to be an ad at all. It might be something that floats across a screen. Anything like that, anything that takes over a page, people will put loosely into this bucket of rich media. So the interesting thing about the way that we create rich media now is that it is highly service-oriented. It is dependent on a lot of very specialized skills and a lot of people with very specialized skills. And we're still calling the operator. We're still sort of calling a lot of middlemen right now in our space to create what are really wonderful and highly effective ads. Yes, it's cool to do rich media. I mean, it's neat when something peels across the page or drops from one unit to another, or a video accompanies one thing or another. Like, that's neat. It's neat looking, but of course, what matters to those of us in the room is it's very effective advertising. Rich media converts much better because it's a much more engaging palette, much more engaging medium for anyone creative in the advertising space. That's why we do it. It captivates, it engages, and it drives interaction, action, and memory of whatever we're trying to get people to remember far better than just a static ad, plain and simple. So the interesting thing now is when you look at the way that rich media is created, it is about these special tools. And I'm sure if any of you who work with rich media at all now know, well, you start with Flash, right? Flash is an Adobe program. It's a desktop software. And you need someone who has a special set of skills. They're a designer, an artist, who can work with that software. Well, that's not everybody. And you get good at it, and it becomes specialized, and it's good. There are a lot of people who can do it, thousands. If you want to make your ad have interesting behaviors, because Flash wasn't really designed for building ads on the web, it was designed for doing lots of things on the web. If you want your Flash animation to, for example, the ad to expand when you click on it, or you want one piece of an ad to communicate with another piece of an ad, you want these interactions to happen, that's code. And I'm not a technician, and I don't write code. But if any of you have ever worked with anyone who does, you know you're not it. People who write code are writing, it's computer code. So in many cases when you're talking about Flash, it's ActionScript. It is a set of complex instructions. It's lots of zeros and ones and special language that is not English, that is not simple drag and drop, that is designed to make it so that it all works together and creates a fully functional ad. That's the tool stuff. Then you need, as I described, people who know how to do that. Now, in most creative environments and agencies, for example, where you're creating rich media, you'll have a team of people who know Flash, and there are a fair number of those. You'll have some creatives, there are a lot more of them. And then you have a couple of people who know how to wire it all together, sew it all together in pieces so it makes a functioning ad. And there aren't that many of them. And those are the engineers or coders or developers or whatever you want to call them. But they're highly skilled in a very special set of tools, right? The other thing that happens right now is you kind of look at this as it's still sort of a skunk works. It's still a very specialized world. These teams work very closely together. Rovion's been creating rich media for 10 years. And in the early days, to build a rich media ad that played on, say, CNN or any major publisher, there were just a lot of phone calls. There was a lot of talking to the publisher. Will this work? How do you break up your page? How do you serve? What do you do with iframes? What don't you do with iframes? All these little tricks that if you don't know, it doesn't work right. And everybody wants it to work right. It costs a lot of money. So once your media is expensive, of course. And so you want to make sure you're maximizing that. So you go to service providers who help you get that done. More phone calls. More, I've got special people, special skills, special tools, special phone calls to make sure that everything works just right. This is still the case. And then the last piece is really this idea of being overall service dependent. So that's the state of where we are. And I do go back to the phone. The other analogy I often use, just quick show of hands, anybody use a travel agent to get here today? Nobody. Not one. A little gnome. Well, the little gnome is exactly what I'm talking about, right? So the key here is that has been disintermediated. Rich media is about to be disintermediated. That's what's happening, right? So there is this push from special tools to tools we can all access, from special skills to skills that everybody has, from working in a way that you have to be in the room with the person so you can grab them by the lapel, to being anywhere you want to be with a laptop and making effective, real advertising, right? And going from a place where you need to make a phone call to get something done to just opening up your laptop and doing it yourself. This has happened in lots of spaces in advertising. All I'm saying is that it's now happening for rich media. So it isn't about whether it's going to happen. It's the fact that it will happen. And it happens to be what we've built our new platform around, is this idea of self-service in this space. And we are really the first and the only that allows you to do a number of things. So I want to sort of just describe this idea that you have lots of people with ideas. Every single person in this room has ideas about what would make a great ad. To do it, though, requires a lot. I mean, remember when you thought only people who wrote for newspapers got read by lots of people? That's sort of funny. Write on a blog, write in a chat, write anywhere. We all have the ability to reach a lot of people now. We now all have the ability to take our ads and convert them into our ideas for ads and convert them into ads. There's a really interesting power that comes with this. It's the ability to create lots more real ads. So what do we need more ads for? Do I think more ads will run on the front page of any of our major publishers? I don't. I think better ads will run. I think that the idea that you build an ad and hope and pray it will be the one that works is old school. I think that what we do is we build lots of things, and the only way you know it works is when it does work. That's direct marketing. That's why direct marketers send 15 different kinds of envelopes, and when the blue one works best, they send more of that. That's what we're going to be doing online, and having technology that takes that cost and that barrier down is what's going to make it possible. So this other idea of being disintermediated, or decentralized. Anybody in the room use Google Docs? Does anyone? People have a general understanding of what it is, right? This idea that you are putting what was Word, what was a desktop solution, and putting it up onto the web. This is again the same idea for these platforms. That it makes it so that anyone can work, people can work together. This is a snapshot of our environment, and I do want to. I'm going to do a very quick to sort of just show you. I'm going to switch out of this to show you the actual platform. It is designed very much like Flash. This is a web environment. I'm online right now. If I want to take an asset and move it, I can move it. It's drag and drop. If I want to change an interaction, for example, The idea that I used to have to click on, write code to have an interaction happen, it's all drag and drop. It's all right in this environment, and it's very straightforward. Because I'm limited on time, I'm not going to show the entire demo, but I would be happy to show anyone in this room a demo, personally. Afterwards, you can come up to me. I have a laptop. If you want to schedule a time to do that, I'm happy to do that as well. And actually, what I will do is I will show you an ad created in this platform, which is a fully functional rich media ad up at the top with a video running in the background and animations. And then, of course, when I click to shop, it's going to expand. It's going to play a video.
Started at 6 a.m.
Well, girl, it's only 8:20.
Why so early? Has it always been this way?
And what's really neat about this platform, what is actually quite unique about it, is that we are able to infuse it with dynamic shopping information. And that doesn't mean that I can do it. It means that you can do it. Anyone in this room who can build an ad on this platform can now have dynamic shopping information about any product at virtually any more than 1,400 retailers that we have connected into our system. And so what that means is you're not just branding, you're actually creating direct marketing online that really works. You're able to talk about the price of a product, the name of the product, the location it is available near you, and that price is reflective of the price near you. We can also, if it's available, to let you know whether the product is in stock, which is all really powerful about driving from a simple presentation online to an actual offline action. And that is unique to this platform. It is something that again, it's all about the drag and drop. Exactly the same way that I was showing you how I moved that logo, you can move that sort of information. So as I say, I'll be happy to show you more of that demo when we have a little bit more time together. And I'd love to schedule time to have that kind of time together with you or with one of the folks on our team. But this is what I'm telling you. This is what makes it unique, and this is what I think people are asking for: is to have more power in their own hands, to have the ability to incorporate this kind of very dynamic ad. Another thing that's really important right now is what's going on in mobile, and everyone knows this, that there is this challenge about, well, is it HTML5? Is it Flash? Is it for the tablet? Is it for the cell? Well, the answer is yes, that you want all of that, and you don't want to be in a position where you're placing yet another phone call. And this has been sort of the Band-Aid that happens in our world, which is every time something new and different happens, we sort of invite another company to the table, or another consultant to the table to help us figure it out and get it done. And that's a temporary state. That's starting to pass already. And what we've done is we've tried to move forward beyond that to a place where we can allow you to create an ad that will run on mobile, on the web, on the Apple platform, on the web, the HTML5 platform for Apple, or Flash, which is for Android and for the web. So another very cool thing about being online is that you're able to take snapshots of every state of an ad at any time. So you can go back across time, and you can also create a template of any ad you build, which can be used by you or anyone that you choose to share with. So think about the idea of having a decentralized situation like this. We are able to keep your font secure. That's kind of neat. The idea that you have a proprietary font for a client. You don't want to share that with everyone. You give people access to it. If you're working with a freelancer, you can let them have access and you can take it away. This is, again, much more about being the same way, more like a Google Doc than working with a Word online on your desktop. And I talk about the templates. So, here's a picture from a recent flight. Everybody's working. Everyone's in the middle of the air doing all kinds of really interesting things. The idea that you are living this way means that your tools should think this way, and that's what we're bringing forward right now. So that's it. I was talking really fast. I hope it was okay. I'm certainly going to be around for the rest of the evening, and if anyone has questions, please come see me. You see folks from local; they can all answer your questions. We're certainly glad you came out tonight. Thank you very, very much.
All right, thanks a lot, David. A lot of information there. All right, moving right along. Our second speaker is Mark Poirier.